Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kembali lagi di Ittaqu Channel. Sahabat bertakwa rahimakumullah. Wanita cantik ini bernama Kelsey. Usianya masih 21 tahun dan dia memutuskan menjadi seorang mualaf 4 tahun yang lalu ketika usianya menginjak 17 tahun. Kelsey lahir di lingkungan keluarga Kristen yang taat. Kedua orang tua Kelsey sangat menjaganya dan Kelsey bahkan disekolahkan di sekolah swasta untuk memperdalam Alkitab. Karena Kelsey sangat jarang keluar rumah, Kelsey memiliki waktu luang mempelajari Alkitab lebih jauh lagi. Sebenarnya Kelsey pernah diajarkan tentang Islam, namun hanya dari sisi buruknya saja. Hingga suatu hari, dia mulai penasaran tentang Islam dari seorang muslim yang datang di acara sekolahnya. Beginilah penuturan Kelsey, bagaimana dia bisa mendapatkan anugerah berupa rahmat dan hidayah dari Allah.
Right. Let us discuss how I converted to Islam. I would tell you all the details, but I have to protect my family, and I feel like every revert has things that they can't just like openly share. So I'd like to write a book one day, but inshallah. Anywho, so I converted when I was 17 in January 2020. I had went to private school for all of middle school, and that kind of set up my knowledge because I had studied the Bible in depth, although I hadn't like read it front to back at that time. And I had been raised in a good environment. I also was taught about Islam, but I was taught stereotypes about Islam, unfortunately. So for high school, I can't really go into why, but I had to do homeschool. I did online school. So on top of that, I also had very strict parents. I didn't go out very much. I would say I probably went out like twice a year. So obviously that was very, very difficult for me, and I had a lot of free time on my hands, as you can imagine. So I dove into the Bible. I read it front to back, and then I was at a school event and I saw a Muslim for the first time. Coming from the South, I didn't even know that there were different like ethnicities besides like 3 different ones, okay? So it was like finding a rare exotic bird. And obviously, being the devout Christian I was, and like having been posting like Bible verses on a daily basis on my Instagram and doing Instagram lives, reading the Bible, I was like, I am gonna convert this person. I didn't do a very good job, as you can tell. So basically, I went to the library with my grandma because that was like one of the few times I got to go out. Ooh, be careful. And at the library, surprisingly, I found really good resources to study Islam. So I found a book that addressed stereotypes directly, which was kind of wild. It was literally like page 1, jihad does not mean offing yourself for the sake of heaven, basically. I found a really good Quran, which is also very rare. And I picked up some other books too, but those 2 were probably the most impactful. Everything else that I found out about Islam, I found out through studying online. So like YouTube was a main thing. Learning prayers, I used YouTube for. And it kind of started out as like, oh, I'd never do that, but I like the concept of hijab. Oh, I'd never do that, but I like this from the Quran. Oh, I'd never convert, but I like XYZ. Until gradually I was like, Okay, so everything in here makes sense, and I don't really know why I'm not Muslim at this point. And I remember crying next to my bed, like on my knees, and being like, God, please grant me like comfort and ease in this decision, because it is very difficult for me, and everyone's telling me that I'm gonna go to hell if I do this, but I don't understand why I would go to hell for praying 5 times a day and dressing modestly and worshiping one God. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And at that moment, I felt complete ease just wash over my body in an instant. And I felt so much confidence about the decision I needed to make. And I said my shahada in my living room. And I actually, before I converted, I had studied the prayers online, so I had written down the Arabic on flashcards, and I knew how to pray. Remy. I was using YouTube tutorials for every single prayer, so I would type in the search Fajr prayer tutorial, Zuhur prayer, and just follow along the guy doing it on the screen.
Demikianlah kisah Kelsey. Ibu satu anak ini menemukan cahaya terang di usia emasnya, di mana remaja lain kala itu masih suka bermain-main. Kelsey justru belajar tentang hal-hal paling krusial dalam hidupnya, hingga dia mendapatkan bimbingan dari Allah untuk memeluk agama Islam yang rahmatan lil alamin. Kini Kelsey rajin mendakwahkan Islam dengan memposting kegiatannya sebagai seorang muslimah, seperti tata cara menggunakan hijab, bahkan menjawab pertanyaan baik secara personal tentang apa yang dia rasakan setelah menjadi seorang muslimah, atau tentang ajaran Islam secara umum sekalipun. Semoga Kelsey terus istiqomah menjalani kehidupan sebagai seorang muslimah dan bisa terus mendalami lagi tentang agama Islam. Semoga video ini bermanfaat. Wallahu alam bisawab. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
But this person is absolutely right. So when I said not praying takes you outside the fold of Islam, I meant like never, ever, ever praying as a Muslim, because we pray 5 times a day. Missing a prayer occasionally, missing prayers occasionally is different than never, ever praying. Because that keeps us connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what he said is correct as well. I don't know if that's guy. What they said is correct as well. Shirk, so associating partners with God, and witchcraft is also something that takes you outside the fold of Islam. There might be more, I don't know, but bye.